All right, folks, this is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. Time to get this show started, man. Hey, and good morning, everybody. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. It is summertime, folks. It's the beginning of summer, and, boy, can't get much better than this right now. Welcome, everybody, to the show. I'm your host, Sherman Ray. I was lucky. I put on my summer shirt this morning, and it does have green in it. And I thought, I was just going to get blasted out. Made it. So I'm very excited about that. I want to welcome you all to the show. We come to you Monday through Friday to talk to you about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas, folks. And when you think of living in Vegas, think living local, folks. And I got to take the glass off because I can't see what I'm doing. Okay. So welcome, everybody, to the show this morning. We've got a real cool show for you planned out today. We're going to talk a little bit about summer, and we've got an interview that we promised with Chris Demery and his lovely wife, Suzette. And so we're going to play that for you in its entirety. So definitely stick around, and you can actually be a part of the show today. I hope you like my new shirt. I think so. I've actually had this shirt for years and years, but it never, I don't wear it enough, so it gets old. So, and as you get older, you just kind of wear the same shirt over and over again. I want to welcome all of our friends from Facebook. If you've come over and you're visiting us, whether you're on our Livin Vegas mag page, the group page, maybe you're on Livin Weekly. So we're popped all over there to just say hello to everybody, and hope everybody's having a good day. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, I really encourage you so right here, there's like a little button, just subscribe to our page. If you go to our website at livininvegas.com, please subscribe to us. We encourage you to be a subscriber, because guess what? We can contact you with stuff that we would probably never put online, but we definitely send out to our listening audience. So definitely do that. You can actually get there. How can you do that? Oh, okay. Just send me an email. Send it to info@livininvegas.com. That's info@livininvegas.com. Get on our mailing list. Okay, subscribe to what we're doing. As a matter of fact, many of you know that I'm the publisher of Livin in Vegas magazine, and great magazine that we're working on. We're actually working on. So this was actually the April edition, and we are working on the July edition right now, which is going to come out in about 2 weeks. So it'll come out in about 2 weeks. Actually, less than 2 weeks. But it'll be out, and you can actually check that out. We also produce Livin Weekly magazine. Livin Weekly is so fun. As a matter of fact, this is the current edition of Livin Weekly magazine. It is in this edition that was the Father's Day edition, so you can actually check that out. There's some great gift ideas. I don't think Father's Day ever ends. Just don't. It just doesn't end. So you can actually see that edition. There's also an article about Juneteenth, because a lot of people don't know about Juneteenth, and how it really impacted a lot of people's lives. So we're very excited about that. So let's pay a bill or two, and then we'll get back and we'll get the show started. Okay. So this is Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas magazine and the podcast, and we'll be back in just a second. If I can find the video. Where's the video? Oh, I forgot where it's at. Every once in a while I have a brain fart, folks, and I just forget what the heck I'm doing. So let's play this video. Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there, well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Yeah, man. And so I figured out why I just brain farted. I just had to. You ever have those brain farts? You know, you're thinking to yourself, what the heck am I doing? Well, I did. I had one of those brain farts, and what happened is we've changed up some of the things. People are creatures of habit. I'm a creature of habit. And once you break that habit, it just gets maddening. Hey, I want to say hello to one of my dearest friends, one of my oldest and dearest friends, Pasquale Urabazo, Pastor Pasquale Urabazo, and his lovely wife Norma. Pasquale, I've been noticing that he's traveling all over the world now. So Pasquale has been traveling all over the world. He's a world class pastor. I mean, really is not just a little guy. Pasquale I think he's in Switzerland right now. He's been traveling all over Europe, and he's been watching the show, which is very cool. So thank you so much, Pasquale. I noticed that you came on. You said hello, which is thank you so much for saying that, bro. I've known Pasquale. We've known each other since we were like 12. I mean, we were little kids living in Northtown, and Pasquale became a pastor over at ICLV, the International Church of Las Vegas, and quickly gained a following. There was an anointing on this guy's life, and just a power that the guy walked around with, and an authority. And now, some 20 years later, Pasquale and Norma are out doing it themselves, and they are just on fire. So I noticed that he was in Switzerland. I think he was in France for a while. Then he's in Switzerland. I do follow you, Pasquale. I do. I follow you all the time. And so he watches this show on occasion, and I noticed that he was watching it a couple of days ago, and I thought to myself, I've got to say something about Pasquale. Pasquale Urabazo, and great guy. So it's the beginning of summer. Today is June 21st. It's actually my brother Robert, who passed away many, many years ago. It was actually his birthday today, so I always remember the beginning of summer because it's the same day my brother was born. And I want to say happy heavenly birthday to my brother, who's looking down right now, probably thinking to herself, Sherm, what are you doing? And so I want to say happy birthday to him and anybody else who's born on June 21st. It is the summer solstice. It's the beginning of summer. If you don't know, folks, the weather in Las Vegas is going to get hot. It's not just warm, folks. It is gonna get hot. As a matter of fact, in the month of June and July, we're experiencing the highest temps in the year. So it's going to get hot, folks. Don't worry. Don't think that it's not going to get hot. It's going to get hot. Today, the last couple of days, it's been, hovering around 100, something like that. But it's going to get frightening hot here in just about a week or so. And what is that going to do here for you Vegas folks? It's probably going to cull the herd. So it's going to thin out the herd. And a lot of people who moved here thinking that, it's just a great place to live are probably going to end up leaving. It's the way it always is because it's hot. It's just very hot. It'll be 108 degrees. So, but there are some things you can do to avoid the heat. Yeah, definitely there's some things you can do. We're going to put it on our website. So let me give you a couple of good things that you can actually do to avoid the heat in Las Vegas. One, if you don't have a pool yourself, find a friend who does have a pool. We've got tons of pools in the valley, even though we have a drought, out at Lake Mead, and we've had a drought in the Pacific Northwest for about a decade now. There are still plenty of watering holes all over the valley, and that is probably one of the best things you can do. Uh, Another thing you can do is plan your day. I mean, really just plan your day out, that you're getting everything done before like 9 o'clock in the morning. I know. And you're thinking to yourself, before 9 o'clock? Well, yeah, you got to really, if you have anything to do outside between the hours of like 9 or 10 and like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, those are probably times you don't want to be outside in Las Vegas. These are tried and true methods here. I mean, they really are. I worked construction for a number of years, and I worked with people who came from, like, let's say, Alaska, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and they thought they were going to come down here to Las Vegas and everything was just going to be fine. You know, they've endured humidity and that they would just be fine. Unfortunately, that doesn't really fly when you're in the desert Southwest. We are the driest state in the country. Okay, we're not the hottest, but we are the driest. And what I mean by that is our humidity level is like that much. We have no humidity here. So I think our humidity is around 1%. So you could actually freeze dry meat. You could. I mean, it's just that dry here. So keep hydrated. I always have a glass of something. Generally, this is coffee. So yes, I am a coffee drinker, folks. You want to keep hydrated. I would not overwater yourself. And this is probably something that a lot of people don't understand, is that you can drink too much water. I mean, your body knows when it has enough water. You will know. So some doctors say you have to drink, 5 gallons of water a day. I don't think so. I really don't drink a lot of water during the day, and just because I've lived here for many, many years. Even when I go riding, I didn't go riding the last 2 days. I've had a headache the last couple of days, but even when I go riding, I don't even drink a whole bottle of water. No, it's just because I'm used to it and my body's acclimated to it. But if you're coming to Las Vegas right now, and some of you are, acclimate yourself to the drier climate. Matter of fact, we heard on some news reports that not only do we have people coming here from California, but we have a lot of people come from the South. Memphis, Alabama, New York, Jersey, that kind of stuff. You need to acclimate yourself to the Las Vegas lifestyle here, because guess what? It is very hot, very dry. And then kind of wean yourself off of the excess water that you've been drinking, because you don't want to waterlog yourself. Sometimes having too much water is just as bad as not having not enough. So let's do this, folks. We are going to get ready to start the video that we have for Chris Demery and his wife Suzette. So let me give you a little. I'll give you a little intro on this. If you watched the show last week, we showed part of the Chris Demery interview, and so the first couple minutes we've actually shown already, but we're going to show the whole thing in entirety. We might have a break in it, but it runs for about 15 minutes or so, and I'd love for you to watch the whole thing. It's really cool. So Chris is the owner of GNC, one of the largest nutrition outlets in the nation, and he has been living here for many, many years. We really encourage you to watch it. He's got some great timely tips, and I think you're just going to enjoy his story, okay? So it's kind of a glitch at the beginning to get this thing started, but check it out. We'll see you in just a minute. This is Chris Demery and his wife Suzette, owners of GNC, on the Livin in Vegas podcast. Here we go. And folks, we're here with Chris Demery and his wife Suzette, and we're going to be talking about the GNC experience. Thank you, folks, for being a part of the show today. So, Chris, Suzette, tell me a little bit about GNC.
Well, GNC has been around for many years, and we found out about GNC because my husband takes their products.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. Couldn't tell. Yes.
Before we did our own franchise, he was always shopping at GNC. And it's a way to help people. It's really come across with COVID,
Yeah.
being able to help with the supplements, the vitamins, zinc, and all those different types of products.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We're going to talk about the health benefits of GNC too. I think our before we get there, our listeners want to know who you folks are.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about you. How did you get me? Let's start with you, Chris. Where are you from? Are you from Las Vegas originally?
Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado Springs.
A Denver.
Denver-ish, yeah. Colorado Springs. My dad was in the military, so
Okay.
I lived Germany, Texas, Georgia, Washington State. I've been there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Cool.
lived all over. But I call Colorado home. That's the longest amount of time I spent there.
Yeah.
Obviously, high school.
And you've been in Vegas for?
Been in Vegas since 1992. I lived in Reno 2 years before that. So total time in Nevada, 32 years.
Oh my gosh! So you've seen a lot of change
I've
in Las
seen-
Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah.
When this was just a dirt lot,
Yeah.
and St. Rose was 2 lanes.
It was 2 lanes. Sure, remember that. Yeah. And Suzette, and you're not from America. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what part of Canada?
I grew up in British Columbia.
Okay.
And lived most of my life after school in Alberta, Canada. So the heat here is very
I
different
was
for
going
me.
to ask you about that. How is the heat?
Oh, well, I love it.
Do you love the heat?
Yeah.
So
I
it's,
don't know how I lived in the snow.
Oh my gosh. I wonder
It's so
about that
different.
sometimes too.
Yeah.
How does it affect you coming from a colder climate? Now you're coming down here to Vegas.
It's nice.
Nice.
Now I'm used to the heat, so if I go back to Canada, it's like I'm always cold.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. And so, how did you two meet? It was just a. Was it
Years ago, I had a bodyguard company. I
Uh-huh.
used to work for the owner of the service owner in Los Angeles.
Okay, sure.
And one night I was off. I walked into the Bellagio, it was the light nightclub. The bartender,
Sure.
talking to her. She just came in. She had this frown on her face
Oh.
because she just paid a god awful amount of money to get in there. And
Not in Vegas. No.
and
Those
even
prices.
then it was pricey.
Sure.
So I bought her a drink, struck up a conversation. We started dating long distance, back and forth. I think she was more here than I was in Canada because of my job. But basically that's how it started. And she eventually moved here. And
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So was it love at first sight, or did you know? Suzette,
It
did
was
you
for
know?
him, yes.
Oh, okay.
for me
Yeah.
it was, and I might have stalked her a little bit.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
this word draw. No.
Yeah. But how
no.
long has it been now? You've been married for quite a few.
It'll be 16 years in June.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So, and Suzette, you were in business before you came to Las Vegas. What business were you
I
in?
had a health and wellness center,
Yeah.
and did very well.
Yeah.
It was still operational when I moved out here, but I was able to sell it. And that's when we decided to figure out what we're going to do as far as the business goes.
Yeah. Because one of the questions I was going to ask you, and I guess I will now, is GNC health fitness. So you were already a part of this culture
Yes.
before you get started.
Yes, and because Chris always works out and always concerned about his health,
Yeah.
it just kind of fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's great, though. So we were talking about the Vegas lifestyle, and where do you? We can go by Wallet Hub and all the cool stuff they say that Vegas is doing, but you're the professionals here. You have people coming in all morning that we've been here, and so in your estimation, where is Vegas on your health chart? And do you think it's getting better, and if so, what can we do to actually make it better?
Well, in my opinion, it's getting better.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors, nightlife, partying. I mean, there's just a ton of factors
Yeah.
for people younger, older, that want to have fun.
Yeah.
I think if you just focus a little bit more on health, if there's different venues that can focus more on health, it's getting better because people there's like Christopher was saying earlier about they're working in the casinos, they're working in the pool areas, they want to look good. So there's a certain portion of people that are always active
Yes.
and are concerned and want to stay healthy. And then there's the other factor, people in different positions where it's not of concern. So it's just more awareness.
Yeah, more
And I think
awareness.
COVID, like Chris had mentioned, has kind of made a lot of people understand that you only have one body,
Yeah.
and you got to take care of it.
Sure. And I think, we were, earlier we were talking about the Vegas lifestyle. And there was another report that was talking about, they said if you're 60 years old now, the likelihood of you making another 30 years is a lot higher than what it was for
Right.
our parents.
Right.
So people probably should look at it. So I am not 60, well, I am 60. But people my age, we were broken down by now. So give us kind of some tips, if you would. People who are 60 years of age, wellness, health, what should they be looking at right now? Is there something in the GNC catalog that people should even be looking at and saying, hey, this is probably something I should be thinking about having?
Well, number one, people have to realize it's never too late.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what age you are, to do anything, whether it's exercise, eat healthy, take supplements. It's never too late to start.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of where to start. So if you're at that age, you got to kind of look at yourself and see, because everybody's different. Multivitamin, fish oil, those would be the two main things.
Okay.
Fish oil can help with your heart, it can help with your hair, skin, nails, cardiovascular. So it just depends on where you want to go and where you're at.
Sure. So don't just jump into the gym and just start hitting the weights and expect to come out like
Right.
Chris.
No, I mean-
No? But you should start doing something.
Anything's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Just move. If
Yeah.
it's walking a dog
Yeah.
or walking around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So many people, we get people come in, they complain about knees and their health, their back. It starts with your diet.
Mhm.
You can't eat like this.
Sure.
It starts with moving.
Yeah.
You gotta move. That's the thing. I mean, I'm 55. I move. I get antsy.
Sure.
I have to work out. My dad was the same way up to a certain age. You have to keep. You gotta keep.
Sure.
Yeah.
But Vegas is excellence.
It is.
Buffets and stuff. There's nothing wrong with going to a buffet once a month. But you have some people who
That's their lifestyle.
That's their lifestyle.
Oh my gosh. It's
Yeah.
It's just changing a few things. It's not a drastic thing. It's changing a few things. And we are, like I said, we're a franchise. We're the oldest franchise in Nevada. There's not a whole lot of us left. I think there's only 2 other franchisees in the whole state.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So, and we're different from corporate. So we're here, to bring people in, talk to them about their health, etc., and not shove things down.
Sure.
That's how it's always done.
Sure. Now you said you've been a so you've been a franchisee for how long?
2007.
2007.
Yeah.
And I remember we had this conversation a while ago that at one time you had 5, 6, 7
Yeah.
locations.
We have 7 locations.
Yeah.
We had 3 in Northern. We were partners in the field. So we had San Bruno, right by the San Francisco airport.
Yeah.
Union City, California. We just bought a store in San Francisco by Fisherman's Wharf within walking distance.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
COVID hit, and that went bye-bye. I think we were open, a month and a half, 2 months?
Well, we bought it with a partner
Yeah.
end of July, end of January, and then COVID hit and we closed it in August.
Oh my gosh. Just
We used to have every store on Eastern. So Anthem, here,
Yeah.
Eastern Windmill, Eastern and Sunset.
Yeah.
So we pretty much had the whole, on this side of town, this
Yeah.
whole city.
Isn't that
Yeah,
amazing?
so we,
And so COVID really took a toll.
Well, 2 of those locations we decided to close before COVID, and then since COVID we had the one in San Francisco, and we had the one Eastern in Windmill, and those 2, the one we lost those to
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
and the Eastern Windmill was the juggernaut.
Yeah.
That was, like I said, that was top 5 in the country. Franchise-wise, top 5 in the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my wife and I mean, we work well together on different things, and we don't run it like a regular corporate GNC. It's
Yeah.
nothing like the name, but once you walk in here, a different experience.
Yeah.
our floor. You
Sure.
don't find a wood floor in GNC.
I was going to ask you that. How do you make it yours? Because even though it's a franchise, I mean,
And that's the thing, some people get that mixed up because
Yeah.
some people have had not so great experiences.
yeah,
Where products are shoved down their throat.
Yeah.
We don't want you to return the product.
sure.
We're here to help. And that's the difference between us and, say, a regular, it's like any franchise.
Sure.
I like to think we go above and beyond as far as customer service.
Yeah.
Because we want that repeat service.
Yeah.
Nowadays, as you know, customer service is out the window. And it's gone.
Yeah.
Right now especially.
Right now especially. So we built this store up, once again, one of the top locations in Nevada.
Yeah.
And that's what we aim to do. And pretty much whenever we get involved in anything, that's what we do.
Sure.
We're not.
Well, because I noticed, Suzette, when there was a customer who came in, and you were probably with that guy for 10, 15 minutes, and just any questions he had, you were just kind of walking him through, suggestions, which is always, I mean, that just makes you want to come back to a place, which is great.
And she's
Yeah.
very knowledgeable. And a lot of times guys will come in and, I know this, and she just breaks it down to them and blows them away. They're like, they walk up to the tell because they just,
Sure.
she's a girl, she doesn't know anything.
No, but she knows her stuff.
She's the smartest one on the block. I mean, she knows her stuff. She handles it. Like I said, she's the CEO. I do a lot of the advertising type of thing, but my wife, not to put her on a pedestal, but she's very smart.
She's very smart.
She's
There's
very
nothing wrong
smart.
with that. Yeah, sure.
Well, I'm passionate about
She's
products
passionate
too.
about
Yeah.
products,
Yeah.
so she knows
You
what
know.
she's doing.
Yeah. Well, so we're going to have to end, but this store is on 9875 Southeastern, Unit 3. If people want to get a hold of you, because people are going to want to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, we have an Instagram and we have Facebook. And our hashtag is GNC Las Vegas.
Okay.
So that's one way they can message through that. And otherwise, if they were to come in here on the sign, we have our information.
I have my personal, which is good or bad sometimes, information.
Yeah.
If there's any problems, because we're in and out.
Sure.
We're not always here. We have a pretty good staff to help them out. But if there's any problems, we're here. We're hands on.
Yeah.
And you have to.
You really do. Yeah.
Because it's a little wacky.
It's
a little wacky.
But I think that the thing that if people walk away from this, I think one of the things that they can walk away with is knowing there's a personal touch here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really personable place because the people who walk in the door, they're walking out smiling, and it's because I think you've touched them, and they feel like, hey, this is a place where they can feel welcome.
Well, what we've tried to instill in our employees is that we don't want a transaction. We don't want a transaction. Every customer comes in here, and they might just go and grab the product they're used to. But you ask questions. You find out how they're doing, what they think about the product, why they're taking it, and it's not to push other products. It's just to inform.
Sure.
So they can make an informed decision on what they decide to buy, whether it's here or anywhere else.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, is to help the customers.
Christopher, Suzette, thank you so much for being a part of Livin in Vegas magazine. Thank you so much. And folks, come on down, 9875 Southeastern, Unit 3, to GNC and visit these.
Right next to PetSmart.
Right next to PetSmart.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
There we go. Okay, now you can hear me again. So, want to thank Chris and Suzette for being a part of the Livin in Vegas podcast. They're a fantastic couple. They really are just a fantastic couple that have done really well for themselves. At one time, they owned 7 of those GNCs. Now they're down to 1, and they're rebuilding again, so they're having a great time. Hope you, and many of you probably noticed that Chris and I look so much alike. I mean, he's a little smaller than I am. I'm much more svelte than he is. But other than that, we look exactly the same. And it's because we're brothers. We're not. We're actually not. Anyways, folks, we are done for the day. Tomorrow, if you'd like to find out more about Livin in Vegas podcasts or Livin in Vegas magazine, definitely send us your email address to you can actually send it right there to info@livininvegas.com, or just go to our website. Definitely subscribe become a member, get on our mailing list, so we can get you guys in the in the mix on everything that we do at Livin in Vegas magazine. Okay. Anyways, this has been Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. I want to thank you once again for being a part of the show, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of Livin in Vegas, folks, think Livin Local. We'll see you again tomorrow, folks. Bye-bye.